Good evening. Welcome to the next edition of Dialogue with Dr. A.V. Srinivasan. He is an internationally renowned neurologist and he has authored more than 60 books on neurology and brain. Last week, we had a program on Vedas and vibrations, how the vibrations are stimulating the brain. Dr. A.V. Srinivasan shared his views. This one, we would like to have his views on how the silence is stimulating the brains. Dr. AVS, welcome to this show again. And we are greatly honored and privileged to have your views in our show. Sir, what is the silence? How the silence is stimulating the brain and how the silence can be practiced, because practicing the silence is another thing, because sometimes the general impression is, suppose I'm staying alone in a room, I just switch on the TV and then I'm watching, but I'm silent for 2 hours and 3 hours. Whether these are all amounting to silence. How to practice the silence? Dr. AVS.
Thank you very much. I will call you Dr. Srinivasan because you are a prime point foundation, and then the pro sense is really positive for the sense of our human beings endowed upon as 5 senses, including 17 special senses, which we call it as PSI, particular situations. Now, the whole world in 2001 discussed about the noise. It was in 2011, people said 340 million years, especially you are back because of this noise. And it is found that both in US and as well as in UK, they noticed 3,000 deaths primarily due to noise itself. This actually in 2006, the Louisiana, she gave the physiological principles of silence and noise. And when she studied and he said, the blood pressure, the carbon dioxide accumulation, and then the circulation inside the brain definitely interfered the noise. And hence, they found out when the noise is there, it is touching the arousal phenomenon of the consciousness inside the brain. And Kirte was the first one and developed a classical silence model. And they found if a person has a 20-minute silence every day, they clearly pointed out, both Robert Satari and everybody, they found that the brain produces, when there is no noise, there is an internal representation of the sound, and then listening to the sound in silence. This is a very important point because a prefrontal cortex plays a very crucial role in the mechanism behind the silence operative. And they said that it is an illusion of sound is produced by the brain itself. In other words, there is external stimulus and the internalization results in the positive aspect of the prefrontal cortex. And the most central part of the silence of the brain is cerebellum. This we have already seen in the last discussion, that the brain has got cortex and then the whole spinal cord connection through the corticospinal system, which connects the entire part of our movement of our thought, movement of our action, movement of our intestinal body, and then movement of the bowel, etc. All of them results in the movement. And this particular movement, it is very, very important by the corticospinal tract. Whereas nature has given us 10 million fibers connecting the frontal lobe to the cerebellar system. This has got to be analyzed. I think the future of the silence and as well as the cognitive disturbances, everything is going to be analyzed on this. And hence the world has identified cerebellum is the cause of the silent brain. And then the cerebellum is going to play a crucial role. Essentially, previously, my master, Professor Marsden, used to say the motor is cerebellum and the basal ganglia, and he revised and he said, definitely the cognitive factors also play a crucial role. if you think brain has got only 3 functions, all of them are all, I always call it as a software program. The great wiring is taking place. The three functions are cognition, that is perception plus thinking. The second, conation, that is movement of all the body. Third is affect, the motor expression of emotion in our body, which makes a man a gentleman and a woman a lady. And these 3 functions, if the silence essentially affects the prefrontal cortex, and it was beautifully described by the first person who described the default model in the whole brain system, and then he did it in 2001 called Reiche. The prefrontal lobe is actually increasing the functions, and then he said it goes into off position, and then the default mode, when it is operated, you are able to see a silent activity going in the brain, which plays a crucial role in actually improving the cognitive functions. Hence, this is the first time that a pure silence, when there is no silence in the body, outside, the brain generates the illusion. In fact, this was also proven by a musical play. When you identify a play which is very important and you like it, when the current goes off, the mind actually plays this illusion of music in your brain and thereby continues the internalization of the song. This is something fantastic in the brain function. And this really releases the stress and then the tension. When you look at the brain as a whole, when it is actually listening to the noise, it increases the tension, it increases the stress level, increases the stress hormone level. But when it comes to the silence, it can beautifully play the role of reducing the tension. And it is always believed that when the silence is taking place in 2 hours every day or 20 minutes for children when they are in education phase, they have proved beyond doubt the learning, the memory, and the emotion. All the 3 functions which are connected to the amygdala, they act very well. So this point of 8 minutes, I've given you the just anatomy of the silence, which is located inside the cerebellum. And this connection to the frontal cortex helps, which is going to help. And nature it has given this possession for 4 generations later. Man is going to achieve greater things by just thinking and not by seeing alone. When you start seeing into the WhatsApp and all the other apparatus, this, we call it as a default mode, is not made to be active. It is actually active. When you don't find the default mode, then the cognitive process of the frontal lobe connecting to the amygdala and cerebellum is faulty. And hence people who are hooked on to this, all these gadgets, they will find that their thinking gets disturbed, perceptions can get altered, and this default mode, the brain must be there for it to function effectively, giving a real impetus for our learning, memory, and emotion. Otherwise, the emotions will be totally in the negative way. So I can just quote only one word, what Buddha said: silence is the empty space, and the space is the home of the awesome mind. So if you want to control your mind, please bring in silence. I mean, I've just touched upon, because the times spoken is going to be only on this aspect of cerebellum, amygdala, prefrontal cortex, including all the CTPET functions are going to take place in this silence. The second part is how to maintain the silence. Now, the real practice, some people prefer a word, some people prefer a sloka, some people recite within themselves, some people, they don't say it out. And I'm not bringing into a religious one, but I'm saying how to silence the thought, because thought is the basis of all our silences being broken. And if you're going to have a continuous thought and then emotion, thought consists of words, words results in action. And if you find that you are a noisy thought, noisy words, noisy action. If you have a good thought, a good action, and then you have an excellent words to produce. And thereby, because always when you study the releasing hormone, the silence can be meted out by so many methods our yogis That is why we always say in Tamil, உடலுக்கு உடற்பயிற்சி, மனதிற்கு யோகமே முயற்சி. See, when you bring in the yoga system here, in whatever manner to suit to you, I think you can take into the yoga experts who are available in our country and in our place, particularly in Chennai. You can take use of them and get into the silence period, learn from them how to maintain the silence. Once you practice 20 minutes, what you are getting immediately, the most important connection in our body for learning and memory is hippocampus. This hippocampus neurons, they get regenerated, and then they have a feeding time to the prefrontal cortex, thereby cognitive factors they have identified, that is, perception is really made great, and your thinking becomes better, and you become an excellent citizen of your country. So it can be made into the school as a regular practice of 20 minutes, like a prayer. What was being done in prayer is little bit of noise of the people who are speaking. Instead of that, if you play the music, sometimes people say music is also equivalent to silence, but music cannot replace silence. But music gives an absolute entity of selflessness, and thereby attention into the silence period is very good in people who are concentrating on music. And you will notice here in particular music, you can see the silence period coming in between the noise. That silence operates a fault mode. I've already discussed about the prefrontal lobe. Thereby, the music really helps us to get into the silent period very well, because you don't get the feeling that I am singing, you are only singing, and that itself really calms the mind. Therefore, the thoughts are beautifully eliminated. Once the thought is eliminated, what you get is an empty space, and in that empty space, the mind resides, and in that empty space, the silence operates. I mean, this is something which is a very, very useful one, I would say. But what about the other features here when you look at it? From the third function of the brain, we have discussed about the first function, namely the cognitive functions. What about the emotive functions? What about the affect? That is the motor expression of emotion. Now, there are multiple facets. I just want you to remember silence is the word for mnemonic. What is a positive? I'll give the positive sides first, and then the negative sides later. When it comes to the positive sides of the silence, yes, you are able to still your mind, thought is eliminated, and thereby the stress and tension is brought down. Then you are able to go into introspection. I stands for introspection of the individual I. And then most important thing is, when you are having a heavy heart, when you get into the silent mode, it lifts the heavy heart beautifully. And then most important, I always call it, you don't have sympathy towards somebody, you don't have apathetic towards somebody, you must be always having empathic attitude towards somebody. This empathy comes beautifully in silence. And the most important point, when you are going to get into silence, there is a nourishment of your calm behavior comes into play. That is the, I always call it silence N. And see, the most important point, when you get into the silent period of your mind, you are able to clear all the cobwebs of your thoughts and action that you did. Thereby, you can have a positive attitude of the human function, because I always strongly believe attitude should be positive, that is A, behavior should be very, very controlled, and C, most important, character should be impeccable. When that is mixed with the D, dignity and discipline, you will have excellence explicitly expressed both in your thought, word, and action. Now, last is most important point is empowerment. You are able to empower yourself with absolute energy. And then this has been discussed beautifully by Rebecca, and the Solnit is always called the mother of all questions. It's a beautiful book. I think everybody should read that book. And it's the mother of all functions. I mean, the mother of all questions. And this particular thing, these are the positive side of silence with regard to the third function, namely the affect function of the brain. What is the negative? Some people ask me, what is the negative side of the silence? The negative side of the silence, you must think of once again, what I call it as negative side. Once again, silence. S stands for shaming. When you are going to be silent, people will start giving you a negative impact on you. Most important thing is the most intimidating. when you're going to remain silent to all the bad situations, it's going to be an intimidating behavior to others. In our Vedas also, one story is there. One rishi was sitting and then praying, and the man who was walking by the side of him got affected by that and said, this young man, so robust in health, not going to work, but still sitting and then doing. That means his personality has affected his attitude. And hence, but only thing is, the negative side effect is that only it has to limit your efficiency bar and then enhance your anger looking. And most important thing is, I always call it as a cohesive nature and eternally restrictive behavior of it. Sometimes it can come when you start getting into the sleep in silence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is with regard to what I call it as anatomy of the silence, the physiology of the silence, where they have done it in the mice experiment, and it affects all the three functions of the brain, which are the essential parts of the brain, namely cognition, conation, and affect. And the third portion is positive and negative side effects. Now, most important point I would like to discuss, because it is said that I have a 20-minute talk. Now I have just used 17 minutes, but I would like to say these are the essential parts which I want to conduce this. I would like to include it. It is a Ramana Maharishi who said Mauna. Ramana Maharishi very clearly stated, he said the only language which is able to express the whole of truth is silence. He was an epitome of example. I mean, he clearly proved at that posture, the thought transfer can take place. It has been proved beyond doubt that he can transfer his thought to somebody. Such is the power of the function of the silence, where you transfer your thought to somebody and then make effective changes in his mind and brain. Now, the Christianity, if you look at it, that's the meditation part. There is a silence of contemplative prayer. Once again, they are also coming into silence. And centering prayer and Christian meditation is, once again, I always call it ABC of life of religion. A is Allah, B is Brahman, C is Christ. So the Christian meditation is also very good. In the Sufis insist, that is in the Islam, very clearly allowing the mind to become silent or within that, your own mind. In Buddhism, the description of silence and allowing the mind to become silent as impending feature of a spiritual enlightenment. As I called it, as Buddha said, this is in silence space, and in that space that occupies it, you are able to do it. Now, most important thing is that even the Jewish guide in the living states that the tradition is a safety fence to Torah, actually teaching a safety infants to wealth, both a safety for abstinence and as well as silence, a safety fence. If you want to have a safety for wisdom, most important thing according to him, in silence. So the Jewish faith is also in silence of wisdom. In some traditions of Quakerism, and the communal silence is also a usual context of worship meetings in patience experienced by the delighted to speak the heart and the mind. Whatever you say, that ultimately it is the silence. And in the Baha'u'llah said in the words of wisdom, the essence of true safety is to observe silence. And it is so clearly said, the fool's paradise is in his mouth. So if you maintain the silence, I think you are going to trickle the whole knowledge before you, and then you'll be a better understood man. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this. If a man has to succeed in silence, he has to have an observation sense. And second, you should be able to record his sense. And above all, you must have a common sense. And this common sense, these three senses to give you final sense for you. I'm once again very happy to join, and will be delighted to join the discussion and get the best of everybody, because every man is born with a clean slate and every passerby leaves an impression on him, so that the silence teaches him the wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Fantastic explanation. And can you briefly explain in a couple of minutes how a silence has to be practiced? We have another question and answer session for 10 minutes. We have a yoga teacher also. But before that, would you like to answer or would you like to join?
I would like to request the yoga master, the silence people. then
Okay,
can-
now I
they
will
can-
open up for
they can-
discussion. I will open up for discussion. I have Professor Prabhakar Krishnamurthy, who is a management economic professor. I have Mr. Suresh, who is a yoga master himself. And can you, both of you, can you open up your camera and mic? Both camera and
Professor Srini, you just video you unmute for me. Yeah.
okay. Why? I will. Sir, you can, Professor Prabhakar. Professor Prabhakar, you can start your question, only one question, and after that, Mr. Suresh will ask the question. We can have a question and answer session for 10 minutes. Professor Prabhakar.
Professor AVS, sir, I was with Maharshi Institute of Management as a director for 5 years. And you have also mentioned about Tony Nadar in your last lecture. It was very pleasing. And within 20 minutes, Professor, you have combined science, spirituality, religion. I mean, a fascinating exercise for me. In fact, it is so nice of you. And I was with Maharshi, and that 20 minutes, he was very good in propagating in Western countries. And of course, he got a lot of, he is no more, Maharshi Mahesh Yogi. And in fact, Professor, this practice of silence, can it reverse some lifestyle diseases like, I don't call it a disease, I mean, eminent doctors like you don't call it a disease, diabetes and other related areas?
I would say strongly,
Ah.
A to E are the diseases. For easy remembrance, I'll tell you. A is for asthma, allergy, acidity. B for blood pressure. C for cancer and collagen vascular problem. And D for diabetes. E for elevated pressure, sugar, cholesterol. And the absence of E, exercise, indulging in C, cigarette, or B, beta, jarda, or A, alcohol, can give all the problems. Now, acute problem, there is no substitute. You have to go to allopathy. For chronic problems, which is mind-oriented, I think this is where our system, Ayurveda, the science of living, plays a very crucial role. Siddha, beautiful. Now, this should be like, I always call it as an equilateral triangle. Ayurveda, Siddha, and as well as allopathy. They form independent existence with, at the same time, interdependent. Now, for example, let's take the silence. If you really do the silence for 20 minutes, your requirement for hypertensive drugs are less. Number two, your stress reaction to the situation, your steroid surge becomes less. Third, the most important thing, when you get excited, you will note here your heart rate increases, your pulse rate increases, and your respiratory rate increases. The heart is stable. We call it RR interval variation. If you breathe 6 times in a minute, you have the tremendous amount of energy for curing all your disorders. But if you are going to breathe the 10 to 15 times, you are wasting your energy that is produced by the body, not useful for its own correction. And hence, this silence will help you, A, reduce the stress, B, reduce the blood pressure, C, it will also reduce the blood sugar, and then the requirement of the drugs will come down. Above all, you will have a perfect learning, and as well as your memory will improve. And in the old days, instead of getting age-associated memory impairment, you will get age-associated memory improvement in your life.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Suresh, do you have any questions, Dr. ABS?
No, sir, silence is possible for sattvic people, whereas in rajasic people and tamasic people it is difficult. Especially rajasic people are not given much importance for the silence. Even for pranayama, they can't sit for a minute. So we are including breathe with exercises only, not pranayama alone. So how it possible make it possible for silence? Make it possible for rajasic people?
Registic people, I always call it 3D model. The first D is the diet you prescribe to them. Once you prescribe the diet to them, then if they are able to follow the diet, then the next thing is E, that is the exercise pattern for them to get settled down to bring them. Then the third is the faith. Faith is absent in the registic. They have faith only in here. Because in life we are followed only by truth and faith. If you have truth in it, you have to have faith in it. Truth without faith, you are blind. Faith without truth, you are deaf. So this particular thing operates in belief and silence also. You should have faith and teach them faith, that they should have faith in the silence. And then you come to methodology. But if you give the methodology first of how to maintain silence, I don't think registic people will not be able to do it. So give them the first diet, and then the factors should be operable. And I think it should be something like, I always believe yoga must become a center point to start in the schooling, not in the after 40, 50. You start them in the schooling. Like a Japanese people, they are started in the schooling age. Start the breathing exercises. Start the yoga in the school itself. And thereby, you cannot make, because this is, in Gita, Lord says, I have already given 3 types of people to the world. So you can change them, but you cannot change them completely to sattvic. But you can give them this only by teaching them in the younger age. You can correct them in the older people. I mean, that's my feeling. I think yoga, teaching of silence, it should be a routine one in the school going children, so that they practice later. Because everybody wants freedom for the eye in life. Nobody wants freedom from the eye. That is biggest point in our yogic expedition. Everybody wants, I want this, I want this. And then you increase the ego. And the real ego sets in between 7 and 10 years in a children age. After that, you can never change them. The majority is decided between 3rd year to 8th year as per the CT PET analysis of the scientific data. I think answering, I've taken so many sentences for you that shows how difficult for us to say in the Rajvik wisdom to the sattvic people, but start them from the end.
Doctor, still I would like to hear from you how a silence has to be practiced, whether it is through pranayama or whether through antarmuna type of thing, or for a normal common man who doesn't practice yoga, how he can practice silence. A simple method for a common man who doesn't go for a yoga classes.
My simple method is first breathing, controlling the breathing first. If you control the breathing, you can control the thought. If you control the thought, then automatically the silence comes. Because when the thought is very active, you are always tensed up. For that, I think breathing pattern first must be told. And inhaling through the left nostril, coming in through the right nostril, then they really lose weight. If they inhale it to the right nostril and go through the left nostril, they become more weight, depending on whether they are lean or. Anantana is another method by which you can do. A, they can do it by pranayam. B, by doing it as mantras. Or C, instead of anything, focus internally, because the most important thing in the brain is, if there is no external stimulus to the brain, but the brain goes into default mode, and in the default mode, there is an ongoing brain activity which sustains for the improvement of the cognitive factors of the brain. And hence, that point you cannot do it because it is a neuronal activity. But science is elimination of thought. That's why our ancient people said, I mean, I'm not getting the exact Sanskrit word for that. thought must be killed, or the thought should not be produced. It should be annulled. I think basically we should take the help of people like you, how to do it. My silence method I go by is by saying only Rama. The reason why I chose the word Rama, Rama is a word which involves all the articulatory surfaces of the body. It involves the lip, it involves the tongue, it involves the pharynx, it involves the larynx, it involves the abdomen. And this word Rama, when you start repeating it of more than 108 times, you will get into a peaceful state where the silence you can appreciate. If you don't like Rama, you can say Allah, or you can say anything. You can say even Christ, or you can use the primordial sound. Because when you look into the literature of in the beginning there was a word, and the word was with the God, and the word was God. That is the biblical story. The same thing is interpolated in our religion. ஆதியில் சப்தம் இருந்தது, சப்தம் கடவுளிடம் இருந்தது, சப்தம் தான் கடவுள், அதுதான் ஓம். So the whole frequency, you can use the word Om, concentrate on that, you will get the silence period. And the third is, of course, you have Prime Point Srinivasan. Of course, you are giving me that a beautiful talk by him. Ananta, the whole thing is Anantam. To get into the state, I think you have to go through the respiratory first, and next concentration on the word or sound, and finally the absence of the sound itself. That's what. So it takes a first thing is to do that. I think I would go with Suresh, his way of silencing. What are the exercises, everything. I will listen to the yoga specialist.
Suresh, he is asking you to share your views. Mr. Suresh? Suresh? Unmute your mic. Suresh, unmute your mic. He asked you to say.
Sorry, sir.
Dr. AVS, you please repeat the question to him.
Question is, Suresh, I want you to tell me how to maintain the silence from the yogic angle or from the practice angle.
From the yoga angle, how to practice silence.
In yoga, sir, we are for Rajasic people, we are giving more karma yoga.
Yeah, sure.
The work is the better way for Rajasic people. For Sattvic people, first awareness to the breath and give the awareness to the senses. Through senses, the past impression, just give the work for the brain and slowly awareness to the thoughts, and make the thoughts just recall the past samskaras. Then make the thoughts like a bubble. When you are watching the thought, automatically it will vanish. When we are going with the thought, it will go like a branches. So just when you are watching the thoughts as a third person, automatically the thought will cut down. So these are the practice mainly.
Is it the same as Antarmauna? What do you mean as Antarmauna?
Yes, sir, that is the Antarmauna. So to experience the silence, we are going with the actions, the past impressions.
Coming back to the silence, so Dr. Suresh, at the present point of time, we are not able to get into the awareness phase of the science. Awareness comes under the operation of what we can call it as being state. Becoming is conscious as per the Schrodinger. Being is unconscious. You cannot study that. It is beyond thought. So as Suresh puts it, I think you can go through step by step and then get into the silent state. It is not done in a single day. It's not something like you can preach a sloka and then start saying the sloka. Then you become automatic, reflexive, and still operate with not with the silence. I think, as he rightly pointed out, I think the first is the concentration on your respiration, and then the breath control with all your thoughts of the previous one slowly eliminate. I mean, you can't I always felt you cannot suppress the thought, but you can watch the thought. Once you watch the thought, thought disappears.
Thank you, Dr. ABS and
Yes.
others, Professor Prabhakar Krishnamurthy and Mr. Suresh. Sir, to conclude, I would like to have one or two tips for a common man. I am requesting Dr. ABS as for a common man, one or two tips to start the silence as a practice. To conclude, these are conclusion remarks.
To conclude, I think only 3 words, 3 sentences. Number 1, you must start doing the yoga. Start in the school. That is the control of respiration. Must be taught to the children. How to really, because basically the children are going into 10 and 12 rate. We should bring it down to 6. Once you control the respiration in the children, automatically the silence the child can easily attain without any problem. So that is the first step, control of your respiration. Second, I already told you, you must inculcate the truth and faith in the saints. See, I'll take 2 minutes. At every age, we should be remembering this. This is the summing up. At the 10th year of age, the eye operates fully. That's where you are completely eye operates for success. Between 10 to 20, Shraddha and Bhakti must be taught to children, an adult as he is becoming. At the age of 20 to 30, you start giving him the purity of thought, word, and action, because it's easy for him to come into silence period. At the age of 30 to 40, I always call it the 4 portions. Artha, Brahma, Kama, Moksha. That's the 4th part. You should learn it. 5 special senses must be really addressed at the 50th year, so that you control your 5 special senses, the silence comes beautifully. At the end of the 50 to 60 years of age, I always call it 6 enemies of the human body must be controlled, so that you'd have a peaceful state. That is silent state easily achieved. That of course is Kama, Krodha, Mada, Macharya, 6 states. Once you achieve that 60 to 70, you should have like a, what we call it as Sapta Rishis attitude in life in your house. Sapta Rishis attitude are 3. Number 1, most important, Sudu Sorne Utturno. Number 2, never give advice to the youngsters you are in the house. Number 3, the most important, bless them from morning and then pray. Between 70 and 80, Ashtadik Balagargal, they start praying to God. You must be like Ashtadik Balagar. You start praying from every angle of human life. From the 8 angles of human life, you pray to God for giving betterment for the children of you have produced or for the family that you have produced. From 80 to 90, you become Navagrahas. You are coming around the solar sun, that is the God. That will give you the peace of mind and then the sense. But 90 to 100 age, then the I which starts at the 10 merges with the universal consciousness. You become 1 once again, 0. Now, why I say that is to achieve especially 1 silence. I think go through this process, eliminate 1 by 1, have the characters. I think reaching the silence is easy once you control the breath. Breath is the beginning and death in the end. In between, silence is the beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor and Dr. ABS. Really a great evening that we spent, and I'm really grateful to you for explaining the value of silence and how to practice. I'm also thankful to Professor Prabhakar Krishnamurthy and Yoga Master Mr. Suresh for sharing their thoughts and joining the show. Thank you very much. We will meet again in the next show. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Stay safe. Thank you.